Once you find yourself in conflict with a narcissist, it's a virtual guarantee they're going to start playing head games with you. That's why I put together a new course. It's very extensive called Anger Games. I'm going to teach you how to manage anger and conflict with a narcissist. There's a link below that's going to show you how to register, and I hope that you find it to be very insightful. Each one of us in our thoughts and dreams can carry certain hopes that we want to come true. And that's just part of being human. And it can be something very simple, like let's say you're going to have an outdoor activity and you hope that it doesn't rain and make you have to change plans. Or it could be something a little bit more substantial. You're working on a project and you have a certain hopefulness with respect to how it's going to play out and what it's going to mean for potential success for you. It may be that you're putting a lot of effort and energy into a relationship and you have hopeful outcomes in mind that you're aiming for. Or it could be that you're going to have some holiday time, weekend time, and you just hope you're going to have some nice time with family and friends. I mean, there are all sorts of things that we can hope for, and that's just part of being human. Now, another part of our humanity is that there are simply times when our hopes don't always play out. They don't come true. Our hopes are dashed, as we say. It could be that you have miscalculated certain things, or unexpected or unforeseen unusual circumstances came along. Interruptions may have come. It may be that you're connected with other individuals who prove to be less than mature or less than capable than what you originally thought. Or it may be that you're engaging with manipulators. I mean, the possibilities are very broad. It's in the moments when we have our dashed hopes and our unfulfilled desires that you can then see exactly how skilled a person is in their coping mechanisms. Narcissists are not known for having good coping skills. Instead of them saying, okay, I've got to figure out how I can keep my equilibrium here. It didn't play out the way I wanted. Let's move forward with a different kind of mindset. What they do is they fall apart. It messes with their mind. And they're not able to manage things well. They go straight into pessimism, agitation, irritability. They look for somebody to pin as the bad guy in the situation. And it's not necessary for them to do that, but it reveals that their coping skills are sorely lacking. Let's understand that the entire pattern of narcissism is built upon false hope, which is then, of course, lead to very predictably ugly outcomes. Their false hope is built upon a type of idealism that isn't going to come true. It's like, well, surely the world is going to see that, well, I'm kind of the gold standard and we need to do everything my way. That's how they think. And as a result, they proceed in their lives with a very narrow, focused agenda. It's all about me. They proceed with that attitude of entitlement. They have that craving for special treatment. And as a result, when their hopes are dashed and they don't know how to go to plan B, there are going to be certain things that you're going to learn about who that person is that are not very flattering. What does a narcissist's dashed hopes reveal about that individual? Well, actually quite a bit. Let's take a look at some of that. First, it does indicate that when narcissists have hope, those hopes are little more than veiled mandates, okay? They think in terms of imperatives. Here's how things must be, have to be, should be, can't be, had better be. And as a result, they approach life with the notion that says, I've already got it figured out, and it's your job to acquiesce to my authoritarianism. It's your job to acquiesce to what I say I want, and they make little room for any kind of thinking or being beyond what their imperatives say it's supposed to be. That being the case, then it also reveals that there's little room for another person's alternate way of thinking. For example, if you're involved with that narcissist and you say, well, wait a minute, as we're looking forward to the things that you're hoping for, I have some different thoughts, or I have different plans that we need to work around, or preferences or ideas. And the narcissist is thinking, well, wait a minute, didn't you get the memo? It's all about me. It illustrates that narcissists are outcome driven, but they are not process driven. Now, what do I mean by that? Basically, when narcissists have hopes, it's like there's a fixed agenda that and a fixed outcome that I want to make sure comes into fruition, as opposed to saying, well, wait a minute, why don't we, as we try to figure out where we're going with one another, why don't we talk about it? You know, what kind of contingencies do we need to consider? What are we going to do if something doesn't play out the way that we might hope? And there's certain kinds of possibilities that we need to make some plans for. And it basically it means that they're willing to think along the way and use analytical thinking along the way. And it's like, no. I've got my mind fixed on what the outcome is supposed to be, and I don't want to have to think. I just want you to do what I say you're supposed to do. That's how they operate. Now, in addition, when they fall apart in the midst of their lost hopes, it illustrates or it reveals how manipulative they are. Narcissists are schemers, they're manipulators, they're exploiters and users, and you were just supposed to give them whatever their bidding said. They just expect you to defer to them, and that's not the way things work out. Narcissists reveal that they that they have no appreciation for nuance. You know, anytime that you engage, particularly anything that's a little complex, anytime that you engage with things that you're aiming for, there are going to be some little nuggets of truth and thought that you need to make room for. There's going to be some micro elements that you need to consider. You know, this person over here has certain needs, or this situation over here is rather fluid, and we can't really say for certain what's going to happen there. And as a result, you just need to know. I need to learn how to adjust along the way. And again, narcissist is like, I don't adjust. Just don't tell me those kind of things. We're just going to barrel through the way my hopes say it's supposed to be. These individuals, it also reveals, are anchored or driven by what we refer to as their alternate reality. In their minds, as they have a hope, then it's like, then that's the way it's supposed to be. You see, I build truth based on what I want, and it may not necessarily be tied to reality, but if I want it, then that's the way it's supposed to be, and you're not allowed to disturb my dreams and my hopes that way. It illustrates that these individuals are so profoundly selfish that they can't fathom anything being other than what they want. And it also illustrates that they're highly codependent. They're in such a strong reactive mode. There's a certain way that I want you to respond to me with that they can't deal with it, and they're reactors. They play off of, and they don't have any kind of internal strength to draw upon. These individuals are very shallow and very immature. So basically, you can see that once a narcissist holds on to a hope, it goes through a progression. That hope becomes a strong expectation. And then it progresses from there and it becomes a mandate. And that's where, when the mandate is there and it doesn't play out, that's where they fall apart and it messes with them in a big kind of way. This explains why narcissists are very unpredictable with their anger. This also explains why they have a strong need for a scapegoat. If things don't go the way that they want, then it's like, well, I've got to find someone to blame. Oh, there you are. This also explains their vindictive streak. It's like, well, if things don't go the way that I plan, then I'm just going to bury you and I'll make you regret ever knowing me, and you probably will. Now, one of the things that we can say is that as narcissists illustrate that they can't deal with lost hope, they forget life. And when I say life, people, events, and circumstances, life is not always fair. Life is not always kind. Life is not always gratifying. And the narcissist says, you know, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear something that runs against my selfish cravings. It also says that that other people who don't share the same dreams as them are considered to be, you know, outsiders. Then you have no usefulness to me. They can't manage complexity. They don't know what to do with complexity. They want things simple, and meaning what I say it's supposed to be. And it doesn't occur to them to factor in the fact that there are, 8 billion or so of us on this earth, and we need to learn how to blend well with other individuals who may have some hopes of a different nature. As far as they're concerned, there is no plan B. And when you say, well, let's take a look at plan B, it's like, no. Plan A is me, and that's all I care for. And as a result, their black and white, their binary thinking just guarantees they will fall apart. Now, wouldn't it be nice to say, well, all of my hopes, all of my dreams are going to come true? And of course, it's not going to be the case. It's good for us to have ideals that we can aim for, as long as we can be reality-based at the same time. Now, having said that, you might think to yourself, I just wish, I hope, the narcissist could see these things and understand it and make the adjustments. But you've heard the old saying, hope is not a strategy. We need to stay anchored in truth, and we need to stay anchored in the facts, and we need to stay anchored in our coping skills, realizing sometimes things don't play out. And the narcissist in their alternate reality is going to say, well, do not include me in that strategy. And my thinking is, yes, I see that. I understand that. Basically, though, I'm hoping you can determine when my external hopes don't play out the way that I want, I still have my internal strength that I can draw upon. I have my competence. I'll figure it out. I can move forward. And the narcissist is like, well, I don't do that. And it's like, I get it, which is why we're probably not going to be a good team members with one another. I'm going to go ahead and know that sometimes plan B winds up being okay. And other times you just move on and you absorb certain disappointments, but you realize life is not just black and white. It's full of nuance. I'm going to make room for that. And I hope that videos such as this can give you some good insights to build upon. I truly appreciate you allowing me to be on your journey with you. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so. Sometimes when you're dealing with individuals who are so dissonant from where you are, it can be good for you to get some therapy. You know, I'm a therapist. I'm retired from my therapy practice, but I believe in it strongly. I've been sponsored for years by the people at betterhelp.com. There's a link below that will take you to their website. And I'm hoping you would find that it would be so beneficial for you if someone can sit down with you and it's online and say, you know, let's talk. Let's figure this thing out. Let's find out who you are and what you need and where you want to go and what your strategies can be. If the need is there, please get the help that you need and invest in yourself in that way. Likewise, I put together courses. I'm no longer practicing my counseling, but I've got a whole lot of experience that I draw upon. And so I've written up multiple courses. Each one has at least 25 videos and then each video has documentation that goes along with it, like major handouts and notes, and then guided questions so that it'll take you down towards a therapeutic goal. We have my new ones called Anger Games, how not to get caught in their anger manipulations with you. And I'm very pleased with that one. We also have Free to Be, about finding yourself despite the controllers. This is me, setting up your boundaries, Ready, Set, Connect, having healthy connections. In addition, I have my webinars on the website, which are 90-minute presentations of a very different nature, along with access to my podcast, articles, and books, plenty of resources. I hope that you can have a good set of skills that you can utilize when you have to cope with things that don't go well. Narcissists don't have that. In the meantime, I know that you can decide, well, you know what? I'm going to distinguish myself from that kind of person. I'm going to be somebody that's based in reality, and I'm going to draw upon my internal competence. And in doing so, I'm hoping you can see that it does indeed position you to become a person of peace. That's something we can hold on to. That's a good hope to have. I want you to be a person of peace.